He said the dog would be tired from the morning shift and less likely to detect anything. Rivera immediately called Agent Foster. If Marcus had someone inside customs, this case had just become a matter of national security. Foster, we have a problem. Our suspect says the trafficker had inside knowledge of customs operations and officer schedules. Foster's response was immediate. Lock down the entire customs division. No one goes home until we figure out who's feeding information to traffickers. Sarah watched the chaos unfold, realizing she had stumbled into something far more dangerous than simple drug trafficking. What have I gotten myself into? Rivera returned his attention to Sarah. You're going to help us set up Marcus. We'll arrange a meeting where you tell him the delivery was successful. He'll know something's wrong. I'm supposed to be in Los Angeles by now, not sitting in a federal building. Sarah protested. We'll say your connecting flight was delayed. These things happen all the time. The key is acting natural when you call him. Sarah's hands shook as she held the phone. One wrong word could sign her death warrant, but refusing to cooperate guaranteed decades in prison. Marcus answered on the second ring, his voice smooth and confident. Sarah, darling, how did everything go? Any problems with customs? Everything went perfectly. Sarah lied, her voice steadier than she felt. The shoes are beautiful, by the way. Italian craftsmanship really is superior. Marcus chuckled. I told you there was nothing to worry about. Martinez and his dog are predictable. Did you see how tired Rex looked? Rivera and Foster exchanged glances. Marcus had just confirmed he had detailed knowledge of specific customs officers and their canine partners. When can we meet to finalize everything? Sarah asked, following the script Rivera had given her. I'd like to get Emma's surgery scheduled as soon as possible. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. at the Meridian Hotel downtown, room 1215. Come alone. And Sarah, Marcus's voice turned cold. Don't disappoint me. As Sarah hung up, she realized there was no going back. Tomorrow night would determine whether she saved her daughter or lost everything trying. Foster was already coordinating surveillance teams. We'll have the hotel surrounded, but Sarah has to get him to incriminate himself on tape. Sarah looked at the wire they wanted her to wear. Such a tiny device to carry the weight of her entire future and her daughter's life. The next morning, Sarah barely slept as FBI technicians fitted her with the recording device. The wire felt like ice against her skin, a constant reminder that one mistake could cost her everything. Agent Foster reviewed the operation one final time. Remember, we need Marcus to admit to the drug trafficking and reveal his source inside customs. Your daughter's future depends on this. Meanwhile, Officer Martinez was being questioned about potential security breaches in the customs division. His 15-year career was suddenly under scrutiny because of Marcus's inside knowledge. I've never leaked information to anyone, Martinez insisted, his voice strained with frustration. Rex and I do our job by the book every single day. But someone in customs was feeding information to Marcus, and until they found the leak, every officer was a suspect. The betrayal cut deep through the tight-knit team. Sarah spent the day with Emma, trying to act normal while her world crumbled around them. Every laugh from her daughter felt like a knife through her heart. Mommy, when can I have my surgery? Emma asked innocently. The doctor said it would make my heart strong like a superhero. Sarah's throat tightened. Soon, sweetheart. Mommy is working very hard to make sure you get better. The lie tasted bitter on her tongue. As evening approached, Sarah's anxiety reached a breaking point. The FBI surveillance team was already positioning themselves around the Meridian Hotel. Agent Foster's voice crackled through her earpiece during the final equipment check. We'll be monitoring everything. If you feel unsafe, say the word butterfly, and we'll move in immediately. Sarah entered the hotel lobby at 7:45 p.m., her heart pounding so hard she was certain everyone could hear it. The marble floors felt like they might give way beneath her feet. The elevator ride to the 12th floor felt eternal. Each floor that passed brought her closer to a confrontation that would determine her fate and Emma's future. Room 1215 was at the end of a long hallway. Sarah's footsteps echoed ominously as she approached the door that held her destiny. Marcus opened the door before she could knock, his smile predatory and confident. "Sarah, punctual as always. Please, come in." The hotel suite was luxurious, but Sarah felt like she was entering a trap. Marcus gestured to a chair, but she remained standing, every muscle tense. "You seem nervous, darling. The hard part is over. You've proven yourself quite capable," Marcus said, pouring himself a drink from the minibar. "I need the money for Emma's surgery," Sarah said, trying to keep her voice steady. "When can you transfer the $50,000? Marcus laughed, a sound devoid of warmth. "50,000? Oh, Sarah, that was just the trial run. You're worth much more to me now." Sarah's blood ran cold. "What do you mean, trial run? You said it was a one-time thing to help with Emma's medical bills." "Those shoes contained $500,000 worth of pure cocaine. You just proved you can move serious product without detection," Marcus said, his mask completely dropped. "I won't do it again," Sarah said firmly, though her voice shook. "I only agreed because you said it was tax avoidance, nothing illegal." Marcus's expression turned dangerous. "You don't have a choice anymore, Sarah. You're already a federal drug trafficker. One phone call and you'll spend decades in prison. But if you cooperate, you'll make enough money to save Emma and live comfortably forever. Next month you'll carry 10 times what you did yesterday." Sarah's mind reeled. 10 times the amount meant $5 million worth of drugs. "I can't. If I get caught with that much, I'll never see Emma again." "You won't get caught because my contact in customs will make sure you're processed by the right officer at the right time," Marcus said confidently. This was the confession Foster needed. Sarah pressed for more details, her fear temporarily overridden by determination to protect other families from this nightmare. "Who is your contact? How do you know they can be trusted?" Sarah asked, playing the role of concerned accomplice perfectly. Marcus smiled smugly. "Supervisor Janet Walsh has been feeding me information for 2 years. She ensures my packages get through specific checkpoints." Sarah felt sick. Walsh was the supervisor who had caught her, the woman who seemed so dedicated to protecting the border. The corruption ran deeper than anyone imagined. "Walsh makes sure the right dogs are tired, the right officers are distracted, and the right luggage gets minimal screening," Marcus continued, detailing the entire operation. "What about yesterday? She was the one who caught me," Sarah said, genuinely confused about how the plan had failed so spectacularly. Marcus's face darkened. "Walsh got greedy. She demanded more money and threatened to expose everything. So I decided to let you get caught and eliminate 2 problems at once." The betrayal hit Sarah like a physical blow. "You set me up? You knew I'd be arrested? What about Emma's surgery money?" "Emma was never my concern," Marcus said with chilling indifference. "You were useful until Walsh became a liability. Now you're both loose ends." Sarah's maternal rage overrode her fear. "You monster! You used my daughter's illness to manipulate me into becoming a drug mule, then planned to destroy us both." Marcus reached into his jacket, and Sarah saw the glint of metal. "I'm afraid this conversation is over, Sarah. You know too much about my operation now." "Butterfly!" Sarah screamed as Marcus pulled out the gun. The hotel room door exploded inward as FBI agents stormed in, weapons drawn and ready. The gunshot never came. Marcus froze as red laser dots danced across his chest, FBI agents shouting commands from every direction. His weapon clattered to the floor as reality crashed down around him. "Marcus Delacroix, you're under arrest for drug trafficking, conspiracy, and attempted murder," Agent Foster announced as tactical officers swarmed the hotel suite. Sarah collapsed into a chair, adrenaline leaving her system as the immediate danger passed. The Wire had captured everything, including Marcus's confession about Supervisor Walsh's corruption. Within minutes, Walsh was being arrested at her home, her 20-year career ending in handcuffs as neighbors watched in shock from their windows. The recording revealed the full scope of the operation. Walsh had compromised dozens of shipments over 2 years, allowing millions of dollars in drugs to flood American streets. Officer Martinez felt vindicated but sickened. His own supervisor had been undermining everything he and Rex worked to protect at the border. Sarah's cooperation had exposed a major corruption ring, but her legal troubles were far from over. Federal prosecutors still had to decide her fate. The plea negotiations took weeks. Sarah's complete cooperation and the circumstances of her manipulation were weighed against the severity of trafficking charges. Emma's medical condition couldn't wait for legal proceedings. The stress of her mother's situation was affecting her heart condition, making surgery even more urgent. A surprising development emerged when Marcus's other victims came forward. Sarah wasn't his first target, just his most recent manipulation. Jennifer Walsh, a single mother from Phoenix, had been coerced the same way 6 months earlier. Her son needed cancer treatment she couldn't afford. Maria Santos from Miami had carried drugs to pay for her elderly father's dialysis treatments. Marcus had perfected his method of exploiting parental desperation. The pattern was clear. Marcus targeted vulnerable parents with sick family members, offering false hope while destroying their lives for profit. Public defender Lisa Chen fought hard for Sarah's case, arguing that she was a victim of sophisticated manipulation rather than a willing criminal participant. The judge listened carefully to testimony about Marcus's psychological manipulation tactics and the desperate circumstances that made Sarah vulnerable to his scheme. Character witnesses testified about Sarah's devotion to Emma and her previously spotless record as a law-abiding citizen and caring mother. The prosecution acknowledged Sarah's cooperation, but emphasized that drug trafficking laws existed to protect society from exactly these kinds of operations. After 3 days of testimony, the judge announced his decision. Sarah would receive 5 years probation and community service instead of prison time. The condition was that Sarah would work with federal agencies to identify and prevent similar exploitation schemes targeting desperate parents. Marcus received 25 years in federal prison without possibility of parole. His drug empire was dismantled, assets seized to compensate victims. Walsh got 15 years for corruption and conspiracy. Her betrayal of public trust had enabled countless crimes and endangered national security. The seized assets from Marcus's operation were liquidated, creating a victim compensation fund that would help pay for Emma's surgery and other medical needs. Emma's surgery was scheduled for the following month. The experimental procedure offered hope for a normal childhood that had seemed impossible before. Sarah began her community service by speaking at airports and border crossings, warning travelers about recruitment tactics used by drug traffickers. Her story became part of federal training programs, teaching customs officers how to identify victims of coercion versus willing participants. Rex received a commendation for his role in exposing the corruption ring. His nose had literally sniffed out a conspiracy that threatened border security. Officer Martinez was promoted to supervisor, tasked with rebuilding trust and implementing new security protocols to prevent future corruption. The other victims of Marcus's scheme found support through a network Sarah helped establish, connecting exploited parents with legal and emotional resources. Emma's surgery was successful beyond all expectations. Her heart grew stronger each day, and her smile returned as her energy levels improved. 6 months later, Sarah testified before Congress about the vulnerability of desperate parents to criminal exploitation and the need for better social safety nets. Her testimony led to new legislation providing emergency medical funding for families facing catastrophic healthcare costs, preventing future exploitation. The Meridian Hotel incident became a case study in federal law enforcement training, demonstrating how corruption investigations require multi-agency cooperation. Sarah returned to graphic design work, but now also consulted with law enforcement agencies on victim psychology and criminal recruitment methods. Emma started school that fall, her heart condition finally stable enough for normal childhood activities like playground games and sports. The mother and daughter's bond grew even stronger through their shared ordeal, proving that love and determination could overcome even the darkest circumstances. Sarah's story serves as a powerful reminder that criminals prey on desperation, using our love for family as weapons against us in their schemes. If this story opened your eyes to how scammers exploit parental love and desperation, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that protects you and your family. Share this with anyone who needs to recognize these dangerous manipulation tactics.